1, 2, 3, go. Hi everyone.
Hi guys, I'm Lori.
I'm Dan.
And we're going to tell you today a little bit about the visa timeline. So I know you guys are all probably pretty anxious once you file your petition. Just how long does it take for the whole process? How long are you going to have to be waiting? When are you going to hear? All of those things. Sometimes it's so annoying just waiting and not knowing what's coming next. So we'll tell you a little bit about our timeline and what we went through, how long it took, all of that. So basically, once you filed your petition, congratulations, because the hard part's over. And basically it's just kind of in the hands of the government, and it's just time to wait. So we filed our application. I went to a FedEx office and mailed it on a Saturday. So we just picked standard shipping, and it got there the next Tuesday. So we filed it on the 18th of February, and then they received it on the 21st. So it just took a couple days. When I filled out the application, we filled out the form to get the notices. So we actually didn't receive the notice until the 24th of February. So just about a week later is when I got that text message saying, hey, we got your application and it's being processed. So about a week later from that is when we actually got the first notice, and that's this one right here. This is the I-797C. So basically this notice is just saying, hey, we got your application and it's being processed. So that's really all there is to it. But it's kind of the first notice you'll get, so it's
called
exciting.
people call it in two different ways. It can be the NOA1, Notice of Action number 1, or the form I-79C, like it says at the top. So like if you ever hear those like terms like being thrown out there, that's what they mean.
You're going to learn a lot of letters and numbers in
the
whole process. So basically, once we got that notice, then I was kind of hoping, like, fingers crossed, that I was going to hear in like a month or 2 months or 3 months. I'm like, it's going to go so fast, because I was really thorough in all of the evidence that I put into the binder and filling out the forms. I wanted to make sure they were perfect. So I was really hopeful that it would go really quickly, even though a lot of the stuff I was reading online said it would take longer. And so basically, my wish wasn't really granted. It took a little bit longer than I had hoped. So we didn't hear anything until about 4 months later. So again, we filed around June 18th. They got it on the 24th, and then, February 18th, and they got it on the 21st. And then we didn't get the next notice until June 15th, 2017. So about 4 months later. But this notice is the notice that when you get it, you can jump up and down and scream and yell and shout, because this is the notice saying that your petition got approved. So once you get this, that's awesome, and the worst is behind you and you're almost there. So this is kind of the longest part of the process.
So here it is. This one is called the I-797 without the C, or the Notice of Action 2. This is probably one of the most important steps of the process, and yeah, like Lori said, you can jump of happiness because your petition has been approved. You didn't get a request for evidence. Basically, what that means, you'll hear on like YouTube videos and like you'll like read about it on the internet, and that's when like you don't like submit all the information like properly in like the forms and the petition. If you like miss like some information that like the government wanted from you, then you're gonna get like all your case delayed. So it's not gonna be 4 months, it's gonna be like 6 months, 8 months, like a really long time. So you just gotta be really careful when filling out the forms. Like in some of my other videos I like explained like how to do it, but you really have to be careful and like
don't miss a signature, or don't miss like a form, or giving them, I don't know, a copy of something, because that'll delay the whole process. So our timeline is based off of kind of the best case scenario, because we didn't get a request for evidence. Everything went through. So just try and, listen to our videos, follow our steps, and hopefully you'll have kind of the same experience. But going back to our timeline, so once you receive that notice, then that's awesome, and it's kind of, you're pretty much almost there. So things kind of go a little bit quicker. And just in case you're wondering, in between these two times, you're kind of pretty much in the dark. So from February to June, we were just waiting. They do have like an online thing where you can kind of check the status, and I did make an account, but it doesn't give you a lot of the information. It doesn't tell you like a step-by-step. It really just says, hey, it's processing. So you just kind of have to wait for it. So after June 15th, about 1 month later is when we received our next notice, and that's when the USCIS is forwarding your application over to the National Visa Center. So that's this next notice that we got, and this is basically just saying that the National Visa Center got our binder and they're processing it. So then the National Visa Center, they take it and then they forward it to the consulate in your country. So in our case, it was to Mexico. So of course, depending on where you're located, I'm sure the shipping times can vary. But for us, it just took about a week to get the next notice. And this notice is from the consulate in Mexico. So you'll get it from, again, your own country. But this also is mailed to your foreign fiance. So
mailed to both of you guys.
So it's the first time that he actually received something. Before then, all the communication has been going to me or to the petitioner. And now it's his turn to take care of that side of it. So basically this form tells you information about the consulate itself, scheduling your interview, getting the medical exam, doing the DS-160. There's like a form online you have to fill out. So all of that information, there's kind of like a link that they gave us that you could go on to and get more information about that. And then from there, he basically took this letter and scheduled his interview date.
Yeah, so from like this step of the process, the last letter is when the foreign fiance starts to move. So after like just add up the times, right? So like 2 weeks for like the NOA 1, around like 4 months, a little more for like the NOA 2, then like another month for like the NBC letter. So
and then another week.
And then another week for like this consulate letter. So like it adds up, right? Like by now we probably had like 5, like maybe like 6 months. So like add like all of those like waiting times that like the government takes to process the application, plus like whatever shipping times the package like company like takes to like mail your form, right? So it's like a lot of time. So just like be patient, like it will be processed. But yeah, after you receive this letter, then what the foreign fiance needs to do is schedule their appointment online. But then because many other people are like applying for their visas at the same time, then the interview, don't think that you're gonna get an interview like the next day. Like usually the only, I wish, like the only available times, like at least in my case, were like 2 weeks or like 3 weeks from like the letter. So imagine that, add like 1 more month to the whole process. But basically that's like the last step of like the process, and like during those times like you can like go and like you should schedule like your medical exam. I made another video on that, so like make sure to check that out. But make sure to schedule it before going to the interview, because if you don't have like a medical exam done, then like your petition is gonna be denied. So you do need the medical. But yeah, so I would say like to just sum up everything, like the fiance visa process from like start to finish, from like you filing the petition to like actually like going to the interview, and then like, oh, I forgot to say that like after your interview, like after you have your interview and then hopefully your K1 visa gets approved, then the embassy has to keep your passport, and then it takes like another week or like 10 days to like send it back to your address like back home, right? So like it's a lot of time. After that you can schedule your flight for like the next day. So like I would say, yeah, to like sum it up, like basically the fiance visa process from like start to finish takes around like
8 months.
8 months, like
9 months.
9 months. Like we've heard people that have gotten their like petition approved in like less time. You heard that it depends on like how busy they are.
I think it also depends on the timing. So someone told me too, I don't know how true it is, but we applied at the beginning of the year, so they said that that's a busier time since a lot of companies are renewing visas around the time. There's just like a lot more applicants. So maybe that's why it took about 8 or 9 months for us. I guess 9 months in total until he got here. So he had his interview in September and then moved here in October. So basically from February 18th when the binder left our hands to October 19th when his flight came in, that was kind of our length of the process. So yeah, I mean, I think it depends probably on the timing of the year. I don't know if that's true or not, but either way, looking back on it, it seems like a short amount of time. When you're in it, I know it's super long and you're really anxious, and just not hearing anything is really stressful because you just don't know which day the notice is going to come. But hang in there, and I'm sure you've already been apart for a while, so just hang in there just a little bit longer, and then soon you'll be together.
And then, yeah, just be really careful, like, filling out the forms, and, like, don't try to do, like, everything on your own without, like, reading the instructions or, like, following the advice of, like, someone who already got their visa approved. Because if you do get, like I said, like, a request for evidence, or, like, mess up the forms, or, like, don't, like, or if you, like, didn't, like, get, like, the whole, like, petition right, like, you forgot to add something in the package, like, you can get your, like, petition and your K1 visa delayed even more, right? Like, it can take, like, a year or more, or worse, like, it can be denied. So, like, really be careful, like, listen to, like, other people, like, and do your research on your own. Yeah, like, all the website, the USCIS website has the instructions of how to, like, do it. If you need to talk to the lawyer, like, you can do it. If you think your case is, like, really, like, hard, like, you should do it. But in our case, we did it by ourselves, and we pretty know, like, the whole process. So
but otherwise, if you have any questions or comments about the process, we're going to keep posting videos. But otherwise, in regards to our timeline, feel free to comment below, give us a like, and